So at the time that I went to Khamzat training camp, I have no problem to say that I got beat up, you know, because I was helping him. You know what I mean? I was there to help him. And to just think with me, Khamzat had like 10 sparring partners. All of those guys, he never came along with them.
Go! 10 seconds, come on!
Man, you know, the thing with Khamzat is that he can always surprise you with things. He absorbs information.
I make you champion. That's why he is like where he is right now, because of that short amount of time.
The UFC's middleweight division was chaotic when undisputed champion Dricus du Plessis suffered an injury that forced him off the potential International Fight Week card, UFC 317, slated for late June against Khamzat Chimaev, and Caio Borralho took note and stepped up. However, seizing the moment, number 6 ranked Brazilian contender Caio, riding a 7-fight UFC win streak, took to X on April 20th to offer himself as a replacement, first tweeting, "I know a guy, UFC, you know who to call." With du Plessis out, not stopping there, Caio Borralho staked a claim, pressing for the clash against Khamzat Chimaev as the only viable path forward. Immediately following up with another post stating interim, barely a day after his interim title call went viral, Caio Borralho flooded social media to underline he's ready for whichever contender the UFC throws his way next, although it was apparent who he wants next. He posted a screenshot of his last 4 UFC victories, each of which came against fighters from Russia or an ex-Soviet republic. He stated, "Don't forget guys, I'm ready." Borralho even made a thinly veiled point that he's beaten that style 4 times already, and he's itching to do it again, this time for an interim belt. Building on that, Caio reported that Khamzat had accepted his challenge. He insisted that such a matchup would eclipse any bout du Plessis could have delivered, turning a makeshift solution into the division's must-see attraction. He posted on X, "Khamzat said yes. The only thing that makes sense is the interim belt. This fight is gonna be bigger than him versus Dricus. Marks my words." In response to Borralho's social media push, Khamzat Chimaev released a training clip showcasing him choking out and submitting Caio Borralho. The footage underscores Chimaev's grappling dominance and raises questions about whether Borralho's interim title claims can withstand the Chechen star's skill set.
Go! 10 seconds, come on!
Man, you know, the thing with Khamzat is that he can always surprise you with things. He absorbs information.
Everyone call me bully. I'm the making champions. My brother.
Right now, everyone has a camera in their hands, and anytime these fighters start to go at it, the cameras come out, gets caught on video, and people start talking. Okay, right? You shouldn't tap and tell. What goes on in the training room should stay in the training room.
Clarifying his role, Caio responded, stating that he was helping Khamzat in a training camp, admitting he took a beating but was there to support Chimaev. He highlighted that Chimaev had 10 sparring partners, but none of them could handle his intense training for more than a week before getting injured.
So at the time that I went to Khamzat training camp, I have no problem to say that I got beat up, you know, because I was helping him. You know what I mean? I was there to help him. And to just think with me, Khamzat had like 10 sparring partners. All of those guys, he never came along with them. He never came friends with them because they were killing each other in training. Khamzat like hurt them, and then they need to leave like 1 week or 5 days or 4 days. They couldn't stand in his training camp for like 1 week. No.
Is that what happened? People just kept coming in and out. People couldn't survive.
No one could stand with him in like whole training camp.
Yeah, pô. E a galera toda aí. How are you, brother? Strong, brother. Yeah.
Last time, bro, I seen you going good for you.
Yeah.
Last shot, Rolex.
Yeah. No Rolex, brother. No Rolex. Yeah. How are you?
Good,
You good? Good to see you. Good seeing you. Yeah. You feeling good? Yeah. If you need anything from me, just let me know. Yeah.
What goes on in the gym should stay in the gym. Now, apparently, Caio Borralho was helping Khamzat Chimaev train. Okay. So he was being a good training partner. Maybe they were just drilling the positions and he was letting him work that, and that's what was caught on camera, right? There's a little video where he shoots in and Khamzat kind of turns the corner, takes the back and stuff. That looked like They were just drilling, and Caio Borralho was being a willing training partner.
However, shortly thereafter, Khamzat Chimaev posted a photo of himself lifting who appears to be Caio Borralho with a simple airplane emoji, a typical symbol of takeoff or domination, possibly signaling his readiness to make a statement in the cage. It seems like Khamzat was teasing his mindset or sending a message ahead of confirming the matchup. Underscoring the difference, Borralho fired back, saying that back then he was just helping Chimaev train in sparring. It wasn't a real fight, but this time it's different. This time they fight for the interim title. He posted on X, "This time is real, my brother. No more helping to fight Nate. Just real fight now. Let's do it. Me versus you for the interim middleweight belt."
And he put like a plane, like I'm gonna make you fly, you know what I mean? And that to me is like, say yes, you know. And then on the Instagram, he tagged me in another photo too. I tagged him and he responded with like this and some smiles and something like that, you know what I mean? So that's pretty much a yes to me.
Building on that confidently, Caio Borralho claims that Chimaev agreed to the bout on the spot, citing Chimaev's reputation for never turning down a fight. Despite the apparent confirmation, Borralho remains uncertain about the UFC's official approval of the matchup.
Yeah, Hamza said yes right away, and I knew he would say yes because Hamza is like a tough guy, you know. He likes to act tough and all that. So
yeah,
he would say yes right away. He wouldn't say no to this fight, never. You know what I mean? And I knew that. So at the time that I said that, he posted a clip of him carrying me up in a. He was doing an interval.
Oh, the rear naked choke video.
Time.
Yeah.
No, not the real naked choke video. The other one that it's not a video. It's a photo of him pick me up on the air. You know what I mean? He was like carrying me up like a takedown. He was doing a takedown.
Ah, yeah.
When do you fight?
June 28.
Against? Big time. That's like number one.
But no one knows yet.
Yeah, I won't say that.
In addition, Caio branded himself as the division's lost cause, accusing every top contender of ducking him rather than facing his pressure-tested style. He points the finger at former champion Robert Whittaker and rising threat Nasruddin Imavov to argue that the roster is avoiding him.
I'm just lost, brother, to be honest with you, because everybody's ducking. Like, I'm not the one to come here and say, oh, everybody's running for me and they're afraid of me and all that, but all of them know it's a hard fight for them. And they're all ducking. Robert Whittaker ducked, Imavov ducked, all these guys.
Imavov is a good athlete, very dangerous. I respect him as an athlete, like his skill set, you know what I mean? Yes. But the fight that makes sense is me against him to the #1 spot in the contender. That's the fight the UFC wants to make, and this guy doesn't want to fight. Yeah. And that just picked me up in a part that I'm like, are we fighters or not? You know what I mean? Like, that's what we do. We fight, we make money, we fulfill our family's dream, and we go to the belt.
Building on that, Borralho revealed that unlike the other sparring partners, he stuck with Khamzat Chimaev for 2 months, training together daily and forming a friendship. He emphasized that his role was to help Chimaev prepare for fights, saying he had no ego and was willing to get beaten up for 5 rounds if it meant aiding Chimaev's success.
I was the only one that would stay with him and became friends with him and stayed with him for like almost 2 months. I was in Sweden for 3-4 weeks, and then I was in Vegas for 2-3 weeks with him, training with him every day, you know?
Yeah.
Because he knows I was trying to help him. He knows I was there to make him win a fight. So if I need to get that and get beat up for 5 rounds, I don't have ego. I don't have nothing against it, you know? I'm there to help, and I'm learning a lot. And that's what I did.
I went to Sweden to work with Khamzat. He's from Chechnya. There's a lot of Chechen guys talking to me. Dagestani, he's good, he's good.
How was it training with Khamzat Chimaev?
It was very hard, bro. It was good training. I evolved a lot. The time I was there was last year, so it was good. Good training.
Moving on, in addition to seizing the opening left by Dricus du Plessis' injury, Caio Borralho zeroed in on Khamzat Chimaev as his breakthrough opportunity. He says he's formally petitioned the UFC for the interim title clash and is standing by, ready to face any opponent while awaiting the promotion's response to lock in the matchup.
This fight against Hamza, I saw the opportunity when I saw when I heard that Dricus was injured, and I said to me, like, this is my shot. I need to go there and show that I'm ready, that I'm willing to face anyone, doesn't matter who. And I asked the UFC for this. We're still waiting for them. We're still waiting for Khamzat's response. I think he's just fighting me if it's for the belt. If it's not for the belt, he doesn't want to fight me. So we're still waiting what's going on. No, I called them.
You called them, and what was their response?
Yeah, they're going to figure out. They need to see how bad Dricus' injury, to see if they're going to put the interim belt or not, to see how long he is going to be out. So maybe Khamzat will wait until he's coming back. So no response at all right now, you know. So we're still waiting. I'm willing to fight anyone, you know. It can be Imavov. I'm just willing for this guy to say yes, or it can be Khamzat or anyone. But now, to be honest with you, I'm kind of lost a little bit, because I mean, my last fight was August, so 8 months ago.
Yet some doubt, MMA Guru admits there's uncertainty over whether Caio Borralho truly deserves the next title shot, suggesting that if matchmaking is in progress, the UFC should consider Nassourdine Imavov first. Despite this, the buzz among fight fans appears to favor Caio Borralho. It's undeniable that a main event showdown at International Fight Week between Caio Borralho and Chimaev would electrify the audience.
Because Imavov is the most deserving. He just is. And if he was in the works to fight Borralho on this same card, the UFC should go to Imavov first. Fighting Nerds hype-wise, which is sad that we may have to go to this now, but Fighting Nerds hype-wise, I mean, Borralho might be the move. A Fighting Nerd going up against Khamzat Chimaev in the main event of International Fight Week. And by the way, when I get to discussing what could really save the card, I reckon the only thing that could save it is by Chimaev staying on the card in the main event for some kind of interim title.
I'm 10 years unbeaten, 7 fights in the UFC, undefeated, 9 fights with the 2 on the contender. So I'm doing my job, and I deserve the opportunity to fight the best guys in the world. That's what I want. That's why I joined this sport. Just waiting.
Nevertheless, Guru calls du Plessis' injury a blow, but endorses an interim title clash between Khamzat Chimaev and Caio Borralho at International Fight Week. He argues the matchup preserves momentum in the middleweight ranks, and only amplifies the stakes for a future Chimaev versus du Plessis showdown.
As weird as it is to put the interim title on the line, but Dricus got injured. Do we know the severity of the injury? Is Dricus saying that he just can't fight on International Fight Week, but he would be willing in August? Maybe then Khamzat Chimaev would be saying, oh no, I'm just going to wait and fight Dricus in July or August, who knows? But if it's some kind of serious injury, an interim belt does make sense just to have a nice title on the line, and it would only make the Khamzat Chimaev versus Dricus du Plessis fight in the future that much more important, that much bigger.
Everything that I want is just fight. I'm a fighter. That's what I do. I never say no to fights. And I think, so with Khamzat, it makes sense to fight him because Imavov didn't pronounce himself. And he's like the #1 contender. He didn't say. And so this is the fight to make. I don't know if the UFC is going to put the belt or not, if they're going to make this fight or not. Depends on how bad Dricus is. But I think the fight that makes sense is me against Imavov. You know, he's the #1 contender. He fought good against Israel. He got an early stop against Jared. I almost finished Jared. Actually, it was supposed to be a finish, but...
On the other hand, Michael Bisping argues that according to the rankings, Nassourdine Imavov should be next in line for a title shot as he holds the #1 spot, while Khamzat Chimaev is ranked 3rd. However, Bisping reminds fans not to overlook Chimaev's dominant performance against Robert Whittaker, which adds weight to his case despite the ranking discrepancy.
#1 right now, okay? So according to the rankings, it should be Imavov next. Now, Imavov is #1 and Khamzat's #3, okay? So technically, according to meritocracy, and according to the rankings, Imavov should be next. However, we got to remember, Khamzat destroyed Robert Whittaker, and I hate saying that line because it's like I'm being insulting, but it's just what happened. But he did that way before Imavov knocked out Israel Adesanya. And that's when Imavov jumped up the rankings and took the #1 spot. So this fight between Khamzat and Dricus made sense a long time ago.
I'm not gonna call the Dagestani guy. I have very respect for these guys. They're very tough. They are doing this wrestling thing since they were little. We saw Khabib, what he did, and I'm a big fan of him. So I don't want to make this like a rivalry, you know.
Congrats on the victory.
Thank you.
In addition, Bisping insists an interim title isn't warranted, noting that Dricus du Plessis has remained an active champion and was set to face Khamzat Chimaev before his injury. Injuries, Bisping argues, are part of the sport, and only a lengthy layoff requiring surgery, sidelining du Plessis for 6 to 8 months, would justify an interim belt, and also where the ranked #1 fighter refuses to take bouts.
And right now, there's potentially a fight that's going to happen between Khamzat Chimaev and Caio Borralho for the interim strap, which is crazy because there shouldn't be any talk of an interim title, okay? Dricus has been an active champion. He was going to fight apparently on International Fight Week and he got injured, okay? As I said, injuries happens all the time. The only way I could see any kind of validity to an interim title fight would be if Dricus needs surgery. If he's going to be out for about 6, 7, 8 months at minimum, then okay, fair enough. The division's got to keep moving on. I mean, you've got Imavov there, #1, that's refusing to fight anyone.
Yeah, I want you to fight Imavov International Fight Week. I said, yeah, let's do it. I said yes right away. I didn't even no, give me a time to talk with my team. No way. I said yes right away. We're waiting for him to respond. And it's been like 1 week after they offered me this fight, and then I heard that he said no, that he doesn't want to fight, that he wants to wait for the belt, that I need to face a top 5 guy first, but he's a top 5 guy. So it doesn't make sense what he's saying, you know? So I don't care about rankings. Give me an unranked guy, give me an up-and-coming from contender, give me anyone, brother. I don't care, because this ranking doesn't mean, you know? So I'm willing to fight, that's all. You can see how desperate I am to fight, right? So that's what I want. I just want to fight because I'm a fighter. That's all.
However, Michael remains unconvinced that a Chimaev versus Caio Borralho clash would top the International Fight Week bill. He acknowledges it would be a strong matchup, interim belt or not, but questions whether it has the star power to serve as the night's main event.
Does Khamzat versus Caio headline International Fight Week? I don't think it does. I think it would be a tremendous fight for the card, even if it is for the interim strap, which I guess until we find out about the injury from Dricus du Plessis, we don't know the situation there. But I doubt it's going to be for an interim strap, but it would be an incredible fight to have on the card.
In addition, Jared Cannonier pointed out that Caio Borralho's uptick in activity gives him a clear advantage inside the octagon. According to Cannonier, Borralho constantly keeps the pressure on, blending a wider array of striking and grappling tactics to stay one step ahead.
They're both different, you know what I mean? I feel like one was more active than the other. I feel like Caio Borralho is more active in the octagon. He just does more things, you know what I mean? Probably employs a little bit more variety in his strategy.
As the MMA world waits on tenterhooks for the UFC's official word, the buzz around an interim middleweight title fight between Caio Borralho and Khamzat Chimaev refuses to die down. Smash that like button if you're hyped for Borralho versus Chimaev. Hit subscribe and turn on you never break. Share the video with your crew, and we will see you in the next one.